Director Lovett, we're glad you're here, and if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and your associates for the camera. And after that, there is one question we need to ask, and that is, or you need to answer, and that's, can you operate within the mayor's proposed budget? And the floor is yours.
Okay. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To my left, I have Mark Macy. He's our Chief Engineer at Public Works. And to my right, Sharon Wallstrom, who's Assistant Director for Finance. And the answer to your question is yes, we can work with the proposed mayor's budget. Thank you.
I do have one statement I forgot. Council members, there is a replacement page that's on your desk. I think it's F42 and F42-1 and F42-8. So if you would just replace those in your booklet. And they should be on your desk. Sorry for the interruption, Director. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a few remarks, and I have some additional staff here with me today, and I'll kind of mention them in the remarks. Throughout Nashville and Davidson County, there are many reminders, some easy to see, some more behind the scenes, of what Public Works employees do for our city and for our citizens that impact basic needs and help make Nashville the great city that it is. But Public Works really is everywhere you look. Metro Public Works staff work on the basic needs of our communities every day, from roads, sidewalks, bikeways, traffic signals, trash, brush, recycling, and much more. The work we do throughout the county improves the quality of life for visitors, business, and citizens of Nashville and Davidson County. I'd like to mention just a few areas within the department. The first thing I would mention be our customer call center, and that's headed up by Ms. Stacy McCoy Jones, who's with us tonight in the audience, and I think many of the council people are used to calling Stacy. She does a great job. This call center is one of the main areas of the department. They're the first people customers speak with when they need assistance. They provide direct assistance to other Metro departments. They play a key role during any type of emergency. And last year they handled approximately 94,000 calls. About 45,000 of those resulted in some kind of request, work order for Public Works. Another area that I'd like to mention is our operations. That's Mr. Philip Jones in the audience. He's our operations manager. This is kind of the backbone of the department. They fix potholes, do mowing, cleaning right away. They cleaned over 900 miles of alleys last year. They also run the brush collection, which is 4 rotations a year, very popular program. This past year they picked up about 25,000 tons of brush. They install new traffic signs, repair old signs, and one of the most important things this area does that I'm very proud of is the night cleaning downtown, which is 7 nights a week. With all the activities we have downtown, which is just booming, which is a great thing. But there's a lot of work that happens overnight that people never see. That's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Some of it goes unseen, but they really do a good job. That's why the streets look good every morning, regardless of what kind of event we might have had the night before. Also, the operations area is the area we depend on when we have storms, and many of you are aware we had a little bit of a rough winter there toward the end. We had 2 or 3 weeks of really difficult time, and operations was on 12-hour shifts. They performed very well. I'm really proud of the work that was done during that time. It's really a solid area of the department. Next area I've mentioned, which is also part of the operations area, is recycling and waste management. They service 92,000 homes monthly for USD recycling, about 127,000 homes weekly for trash pickup, operate 12 recycling drop-off sites and 3 convenience centers, soon to be 4 convenience centers. We have a new one being built out on Eazell Pike, which we're very proud of. Next area I'd mention is our Beautification Environment Division. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the beautification commissioners. They really do a good job. It's all volunteer work. And this area is responsible for approximately 400 recycling education programs last year that really reached about 55,000 students and adults. They also operate our customers community service worker program, which is where people are referred to us by state trial courts and general sessions court, and we really get a lot out of this program. It's They picked up about 1.4 million pounds of litter last year, illegal dumping. They mowed approximately 94 vacant lots. It amounts to about 1.3 million in labor cost avoidance, so it's a very good program. Our special events area is also in this division, and Sharon Smith, who's with us today, she heads up this entire operation, does a great job. The special events is another booming area in the department. Roughly last year, they issued about 395 either film or special event permits, and Nashville continues to be a very popular destination place for this type of event, and we're very happy with that. Next area I would like to briefly mention is Taxi Cab and License Commission, which also resides in the Department of Public Works. Mr. Billy Fields is here today, and he's in charge of this operation. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Taxi Cab and License Commission for all their service. They do a very good job. This past year they added 199 additional taxi cabs to the fleet. Currently it's 1,324 permitted vehicles. Next division I would mention is the engineering division, which covers a wide area of our department. It's headed up by Mr. Macy to my left. Last year they issued approximately 25,000 right-of-way permits, reviewed approximately 2,900 construction development plans. They're also responsible for the rehabbing, maintaining approximately 350 bridges and culverts. One of the big things that the engineering division does is manage all of our capital projects. We have numerous ones going on, again, a booming city. And I would point out one we completed that we're very proud of, and that would be the roundabout, 46th Avenue North and Murphy Road roundabout and streetscape project, which we think was a very successful project, and it's working very well. Another division within the engineering area is traffic management and signals. That's headed up by our Chip Knupp, our chief traffic engineer. And I'm trying to thank all the commissions. I'd like to thank the Traffic and Parking Commission for all the service that they do for us. This area maintains approximately 800 signalized intersections. Sidewalks, bikeways, paving. This is all under Mr. Don Reed, who's with us today. I think most of you know Don. He's our paving manager, does a great job. Public Works has a robust paving program. He's, I think, done an exceptional job with trying to create new techniques that'll help preserve our pavement, preventive maintenance techniques such as crack sealing, infrared repair, and fog sealing. And like I said, I think we have a very robust paving program. The budget for Public Works this year is $83.8 million. The enhancements would include approximately $205,000 for an increase in NES electricity facility charges, about $240,000 for the normal contractual increases, CPI on current contracts, approximately $463,000 to staff and operate the Ezel Pike Convenience Center I previously mentioned. And also we've added a downtown recycling program we hope to start later this summer. This will help staff at about $253,000 in enhancements in this year's budget. In closing, I'm very proud of the accomplishments of the Public Works Department, from streets, sidewalks, traffic signs, signals, capital construction, waste collection, neighborhood cleanups, community tree plantings, to paving and parking management. Public Works is everywhere you look. And I'd also like to point out two other employees that's in the audience with us today. Mr. Billy Davis, most of you are very familiar with him, and Mr. Paul Hiltz, who's our finance manager in the department. With all that, I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director. The floor is open for council members. Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Randy, are you, obviously you're adding some positions. Are you kind of getting back to where you were pre-recession times? Because I know your department took a tremendous hit. It's not reflecting it here, obviously, because the numbers are climbing back up for you. But are you getting back to where you had the staff? Because I know for myself, and probably every council member sitting out here, we ask a question and you guys are on it quickly. Time doesn't waste when it comes to having you guys either check limbs or, and you're right, Public Works is truly in our everyday life. But my real question is, with this budget, are you getting back to being able to have your department staffed to where you can handle all of the things that Public Works does? Because it's a tremendous amount.
Well, we're any type of improvement always helps, so yes, we're starting to move back, but adding these FTEs helps every time. We're not back where pre-08 levels, if you would, but every time we add an FTE, yes, it helps drastically.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Council Lady Allen.
Thank you very much. I want to say once again how much people love the brush pickup 4 times a year. That was great to be able to add that back in, and I'm thrilled about the $25 million for sidewalks in the capital budget, so I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. Had a question about the downtown recycling. Can you tell me what's involved in that and what those 3 people will be doing, and if there are ways, as Nashville Next pushes us towards downtown plus centers, if that could maybe be copied at the areas that are designated as centers and then maybe eventually spread other ways.
Yes, to answer your question, but I mean, it comes down to resources. It's basically in the downtown, inside the downtown loop. We currently have some recycling carts out, but this will greatly enhance the problem. Roughly 170, I think, just off the top of my head, that'll be recycling alongside with the trash cart also, so it would encourage people to recycle when pedestrians and this type of thing. This will basically add a truck, a small truck, and 3 employees to the program that will go around and service all of this, but they'll work primarily in the downtown area.
Great, I'm glad to see that happen. I look forward to growing that as resources become available.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilman Tiger.
Thank you. Randy, what is the surplus parking $271,000 allocation?
Let Sharon,
I should have gone to Sharon first anyway.
Yeah, she keeps up with all of that.
Councilman, that is part of the partnership that we have with the Downtown Partnership, and so we are responsible for the courthouse garage and the library garage, and that is money that is set aside to help maintain those garages, do cement repairs, striping, elevator, escalator repairs, items of that nature, and that is covered by the revenue that gets brought
There's
in
an
by the
offsetting
garages.
revenue
Yes, there
source
is.
for that, okay. And just a request, Mr. Chair, when you come next Tuesday to talk about the capital budget, if you could, I don't know how much detail you can give us as to paving plans, and you may have already shared it with district council members, but there used to be a paving score assigned to streets, and if it was below a certain grade, you could expect that street to be paved sometime in the near future. I don't know if that process is still available. Certainly the bridge funding, I was a little surprised to learn that bridges included such things as building new pedestrian bridges. I was thinking it was more repairing or constructing new vehicular bridges, but if you could have that. And then certainly where we get most of our calls relating to sidewalk plans, and I know there's a scoring system there, but will you be in a position to tell us what the $25 million would mean in terms of sidewalk projects by district? Thank you.
Councilman Westerholm.
Thank you, Mr. Director, for being here, and members of the staff. I appreciate working with you guys. Just one follow-up question. This came up during the mayor's budget hearing. There was a conversation that got some traction for some of our constituents pertaining to increasing recycling. I know that was not something that is in here for twice a month pickup, but could you talk a little bit about what it would take to get to that point, other than obviously there's a dollar amount for the capital costs, there's a staffing amount, but as far as just where the rates are, what it would take, and perhaps this is something that Mr. Riebling, you could chip in on as well, just at what point does that become a higher priority, or what would it take for us to really push that up to say, we're going to now increase recycling service to twice a month? Does that make sense?
Do you want to know roughly what it would cost?
Well, I believe that was probably part of the reason why, I guess there wasn't...
You have that figure? Yeah, we have the figure. I think it's like 1.2 million.
Yeah, it sounds about...
Yeah, that's what I recall, but Sharon has the figure here. It basically doubles what we're doing now. I mean, obviously, if you pick it up once a month, you go to twice a month, it kind of doubles your expense. And then there's some initial capital expense to buy more trucks, but that's just initial capital expense.
$1,016,000. It's a little over $1 million to go to a twice a month pickup for the recycling. And I think that they had, I don't question it's something we should try to do. It's the cost, and I think when we talked about it before, there was some issue in terms of usage. It seemed pretty flat in terms of what you've been picking up lately. And so it doesn't seem to be a crying need for it at this time, even though it's something we probably should be striving for.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Randy, you're not going to know the answer to this, but I want to throw this out if we could. I have some elderly folks in my district, and I know throughout the city this is probably a situation that, and the reason I thought of this is when Councilman Westerholm asked about the recycling, they have difficulty getting the recycling out from the back of their house to the street. And could you give this council an idea of what it would cost if it was offered for you to go behind the house, get the recycling bin, take it out to the truck? I'm not asking you, the city necessarily to pick up that fee, but could you give us an idea of what that would cost, and then we can debate it through here and determine if that's something that we feel like a service that needs to be offered, or if it could be offered? Yeah,
We've priced that, I'll let Sharon, she's got the figure. Council, we have priced backdoor pickup before. Now, this would be a little bit of a ballpark because I don't know how aged the data is.
Okay.
It would be about $170,000 to the operating budget, and that is for 2 people and uniforms, items like that. But then for the backdoor collection, as far as capital goes, we would have to buy 2 more trucks, and that'd be about $200,000.
Okay. Rich, is there any way that we can kind of get an idea of, and I don't know if there's a survey, or if there's a way to find out how many people may be out there, and then determine what kind of fee we can put on that to where it's cost neutral?
Well, the only way I think you could do it, you have the numbers now as to who pays the fee every month for the backyard collection. Do you have that right?
Yes, but we have waivered individuals.
You have waiver, yeah. So I guess you could look and see what we're collecting now. An individual could pay a monthly fee and have backdoor garbage.
They can do that now?
For garbage collection.
Okay.
Trash.
Okay.
For trash. So you could sort of extrapolate, try to come up with some numbers for whether some of those same people would want it for recycling services.
And if they come back to us with that number, is there a way to have that implemented in this coming fiscal year, or is it something we're going to have to wait another year, or is this something we can have an ongoing conversation about?
I think you could probably do it during the course of the fiscal year. If you arrived at a revenue source to help pay for it, you could probably establish a program during the course of the fiscal year.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to wait till next budget year.
Is it possible, if you don't mind getting those numbers and bringing them back to us, and then let's put it out and see if there's customers who would like to do that? But again, I'm looking at a cost neutral, where it's not going to cost the taxpayers anything, but the individuals who maybe want to use that service.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, you could just provide that to Elise, and she'll send it out.
Okay.
Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Chair Primore. Randy, I just want to commend you for your incredible leadership. Your entire department, your team of people in Public Works is just phenomenal. I have to echo what everyone has said about Don Reed. He works with us, just night and day. All the time. We call him about different issues, and he's on it. Also, Sharon Smith is so very accommodating as well. I just want to commend her efforts in really helping Southeast Nashville in expanding our opportunities with recycling and convenience center access in the city. So we're very excited about Public Works efforts to bring that out to our area of the county. We look forward to continuing to expand on that. We do want to have a drop-off similar to the one out in Bellevue that was done with TDOT, where you have the containers at a particular location, because we do have a container out at Una School off of Murfreesboro Road that is always overflowing. And I've had countless constituents contact me to say that that is a big need to have those containers in a location that's convenient to the community. So we look forward to expanding on that as well with you. I also wanted to ask you, I want to acknowledge Ali Afis. your traffic engineer, you see your traffic engineer and all of your traffic engineers, but most especially Ollie Aphis, because he goes above and beyond to come out to community meetings, and you know how heated some of those can be because everybody's passionate about many different issues around, their streets and things of that sort. So he has been outstanding in terms of being accessible and meeting the needs of many constituents throughout Davidson County, because I've heard he's been all the way over to Frank Harrison's district and everywhere. So we commend him and thank you for giving him to the city to answer questions and to attend our community meetings. I also want to piggyback off of what Councilman Tiger had asked about in regards to the $25 million for sidewalk projects. Is that money going to, how are you going to decide? I know we have the comprehensive sidewalk plan, and I know we're behind on many different sidewalk projects and requests that people would like to see done. Is there some type of system that you're going to utilize to ensure that that money is spread as far as it can in terms of projects and the impact those projects will have within neighborhoods?
Yeah, I'll let Mark respond to that.
Yes, we follow, on the sidewalk plan, we follow the master plan, which is a plan that's been through a public process where people had a role in determining how projects got selected. And so that's the process we'll use. We have a tremendous backlog. We have probably close to $100 million of sidewalks that need to be built based on the plan. And so that's how we'll go about working through this $25 million. If it's approved, we hope you approve it.
Well, we're definitely going to hopefully approve that. On that strategic sidewalk plan, do we have a timeline as to when we will bring that back before the public to update with their input? Because I know when was the last time that was done? Around 2003?
It was last updated in 2008.
Okay, 2008.
We would expect a new administration would ask for an update on the plan, and that's probably when we're going to do it.
Okay, so I can let my constituents know that we need to make sure these new mayoral candidates are committed to bringing forth the opportunity for them to be able to update the sidewalk plan, because that would be the best time to do that.
Right, and it'll be a strong public involvement process. We don't do this in the closet. We go out to the community, and we really want them to be a part of the process and help us, focus on where the greatest need is.
Also, there was mention at one of the other departmental budget hearings where council members expressed that if we were to purchase a shredding truck, would that be something that Public Works would be interested in having within your department? Because you all know with our cleanups, we are fortunate that we have a very strong relationship with Shredded, but they can't realistically do that for every single council district. I know they pick and choose at least once or twice a year in a couple of areas of the county to be able to provide that service to residents at no charge. So there's a demand for that at cleanups. And I know that Public Works generally provides us with all of those things that we need at those various cleanups to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our constituents. Is that something that you all would be open to looking at?
We'd be open to looking at anything. I would just point out to you that the shredding or any type of equipment like that, there's additional cost involved that we have difficulty trying to absorb. So any type of program like that, and especially something like a shredding truck, that's going to require additional staff. It's going to require staff working on weekends, people that have to be paid And, these cleanup programs, we try to support them as much as we can, and we think they're very beneficial and very helpful. The shredding is taking it a step further. There's a lot, I just want to point out to you, there's a lot of cost to something like that.
Thank you for that honest feedback. And what maybe we need to look at is a partnership where so many of those opportunities are integrated into the cleanup so that every quadrant of the city could have that opportunity with Shredded, since they are one of our providers for Metro. So there may be a unique opportunity to look at that contract and maybe provide that service with a partnership versus us incurring that type of cost to increase manpower, et cetera, as you have outlined. I guess the last thing I wanted to hit on is, I have to mention this because it is literally the most important thing to the people in my area, and that is a seriousness about the widening of Smith Springs Road. We all know when we did the water project with Metro Water, it was a nightmare. We had to bring in a lot of manpower in terms of security companies and police officers to navigate people in and out of the area, because it's literally the only way in and out to a huge population of people. And Rosie sitting here next to me, she lives there, can attest to that, that, we get stuck for long periods of time, and people complain that it takes them an hour to go, 0.5 a mile or 2 miles. It takes them an hour in the morning sometimes to get out. And I think that's, we've looked at the MTA and the transit options and increasing that along that stretch and in that area, but we really seriously need to look at how can we widen Smith Springs Road from that Castlegate area to at least Bell Road? And that would alleviate the bottleneck and the congestion of so many people coming into that area all at the same time. So I just wanted to express that on behalf of my constituents, because they've been waiting since the project has been on, on the CIB way before me. I think even when Salita Holloway was the council person, so that's a long time ago. So we keep bringing it to the forefront, but I think we really seriously need to, look at moving that type of project forward to help the people in that community, to provide them some relief. Thank you.
Seeing no other members in the queue, Director, certainly appreciate you being here, and we certainly appreciate Public Works and all that y'all do day to day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.